weekly discussions about your favorite video game. You're listening to On Smite. On Smite episode 415, recorded on February 18th, 2016. And I feel like we need a 17 now, because they go with the 15th, 16th, and 18. Maybe something.
Yeah.
Oh, Brent, you so crazy.
I am Cray Cray, and I'm Brent.
I'm Regent.
And I'm Eric.
And we're here to talk about Smite.
First name basis now.
What's up?
I like
numbers.
that. I like that.
Apparently, we're talking about numbers.
Numbers.
You know what day it is?
I do. It's International Wine Day.
Wine.
So, salute to Bacchus, the god of wine.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes, I will. I will toast to that. I will always toast to Bacchus.
Perfect. Awesome. So
It's like he made that just for this day. How
did.
long ago? It's crazy how stuff turns out and works. And what's crazy is we got a show. It's not really, well, if it was a small show, it would be really cram-packed with a bunch of stuff. But it may be a big show with a lot of stuff spread out.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is there's not much to talk about today, so feel free to expound and fill the space with your voices.
Right. Don't worry. We will.
And with that, let's go ahead and...
Hey, guys. What's
Kraken!
Yeah.
He was a little hot tonight, but that's okay. He's probably been sipping on a little Bacchus juice.
Mm-hmm.
The ocean's full of it.
And speaking of full of it, well,
Are you full of it?
I was going
Who's
to
full of it?
do that into your last name, Fullerton.
Ah.
Fuller. Fullertons. You're
Well, what's cracking with me is kind of short. This week, tried out Ragin, the new god, and I like him. He's cool, but the first thing that kind of got me was it feels like his auto attack is really slow. Like I don't know if it's just the animation of him drumming and everything, but to me it just felt like it was so slow. I wanted to put some, attack speed on it, but I don't know if attack speed is really the way to go with this kind of god. He's very bursty, so it feels like it would just be doing him an injustice. But I went into a practice, just against bots, and
Right.
put a bunch of attack speed on him just to get the feel, and it feels right. I mean, not overloading him with a bunch of stuff, but like just a touch. It feels a little better. But I like the god as a whole. I think it's really cool. The ult is really fun to pull off.
I don't like it when it smacks me.
Yeah, no.
I have not played him yet,
Oh, okay.
but
you
I've
haven't
played
him?
against him, and
Okay.
like that's the only thing I think I've noticed is his ult. Like everything else, I don't know what that crap he does, like
Oh,
at all.
yeah.
I just see him like drumming and walking around, and I'm like, well, I won't get too close to him because I don't know what the hell he does.
Oh, yeah.
Well, remember his 2. If you're against him, his 2 is invisible. He can cast it and you don't see it.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah.
And most of the players are saving his 3 as an escape. You could also use it as initiator, but I mean he's a squishy as hell mage, so you don't really want to be using it to dive in.
Yeah, I could see it both ways. It's a nice way of escaping, but man, it sure is some nice damage going in. But
Yeah, well,
I don't
especially if
know.
you get your 2 buried in someone first. But and the
Yeah,
other thing,
yeah.
his
Getting kinda dirty.
1 really looks like his auto attack. If you're not paying really close attention, it doesn't look much different than just his auto.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Because the first
Till
time
that
I was
double
playing
comes
him,
out.
yeah, I wasn't really sure I was doing anything at first. I mean, you have the aimer and everything; you could see what you're about to do, and I'm like, "Is something happening?" But with the 2, of course, you and your teammates see the little mark. It's like a little triangle above the player, but it's like I kind of want to see something more. I don't know. Like I felt like it was just like a little mark, like Hu Yi would, or is it Hu Yi? No, it's what's his name?
The guy
hunter.
who puts the thing on your head, the red thing
Yeah,
on your head
the
that
hawk
marks
thing.
you.
Yeah.
That's Hu Yi.
Oh,
Hu
that
Yi.
is Hu Yi. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't play him a lot.
Who are you talking about?
The mark of the crow.
Right. I don't know. I mean, that's just a little nitpicky thing. I felt like a little triangle was just kind of like very unepic looking. You know what I mean? It looked like an interface thing, and I want it to kind of blend more with his character, like a cool symbol or something floating on him or him flashing or something better than just a little. Like it seemed to me like it's just a place marker, and later patch it'll be like super epic and awesome.
Maybe with other skins they'll change
Yeah,
it into
I
something.
was just thinking that.
That's true. Maybe.
It'll be a skin flare item.
Yeah.
Skin flare. Paladins is doing. Well, I'll talk about that later.
Paladins.
I know exactly what you're talking about, though. I saw the tweets on that. That's an interesting idea.
Other than that, me and Brent got owned. Oops.
Pwned big time.
We got owned in a ranked joust, and we played. We were going to just try to qualify. We still haven't freaking qualified yet.
Let's be honest. That was all Bitburner's fault.
Yeah. So Bitburner,
Since he's
was
not
with
here,
us.
we can blame it all on
Yeah.
him.
It was the opposing team had a Wheelix, and right now I'm getting a Wheelix to Diamond. That's my next god, and I have her to 8 right now, and I play her like constantly over and over and over. And when they were playing it, I was like, wow, they picked a really opportune time to play a Wheelix because I was Neath, perfect to pull Neath flipping, and Brent was Odin, perfect to pull him, jumping through a wall through the jungle. Plus, the new Joust has like really tight corners, so it's very nice maneuvering with a Wheelix. Anyway,
Jumping over everything.
It was a perfect fit, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? So, but we got owned. I forgot what the other gods were, but mainly she got something like 17 kills, and everybody else got 0. So it was just it was bloody.
Yeah, it was nasty. I couldn't surrender fast enough.
Yeah, we really wanted out of there. After that, we played a couple more matches in Joust, but not ranked. Just to practice with team comps. But anyway, so that was my week. Pretty short and sweet. I'm gonna get back to drinking wine. Okay, somebody else talk.
While you drink wine, I did want to mention we talked, or at least I mentioned about Quest, how they kind of annoyed me in a past episode, and I've got to say after kind of the changes with them, making them week long, and like I don't focus on them, and I don't mind them. Like I kind of like how they do it now. Like they kind of happen, and every once in a while I'll go, well, I need one more Greek match, so I'll jump on and do it. And so I've kind of enjoyed how they have it. I like it.
Yeah.
Props to you, Hi-Rez.
Yeah,
It's more free gems.
Way to go. Yeah, who free gems.
You
are
don't
awesome.
have to do it. I find they just happen on their own.
Yeah, it's extra stuff without being intrusive.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So that was cool. I'm trying to think of other things. This week, I don't know if you've played Paladins lately. They just released their beta 14 patch, and it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. So I got to say, go try it out. They have a survival mode, which is basically it's you go kill the other people, and when you die, you're dead for that round. And then so it's who has the most rounds after. I don't even know how many it is. It seemed like a lot. That like maybe 4 wins.
Is it like a last man standing kind of thing?
Yeah.
Endurance?
So
okay.
The last person team. I mean, usually there's like 4 people left on the other team if they've killed you. You know what I mean? Like usually it's kind of. But it's how they do it is one of the capture points will kind of light up and it'll let you know that that's the point because. At the edge of the map, basically, mist starts slowly coming in towards that point, and if you get caught in that mist, you start taking a lot of damage and you'll die. So it pushes you together.
Oh, that's cool.
force
It's like
the
the
fight.
walls are closing in on you. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
It's like that movie, Mockingbird, whatever the first one was, Catching Fire
right.
Birds.
Something fire.
Mock King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird. Mocking.
Bird.
But it was a lot of fun. So the other thing they added was now you can basically change the color of your weapons, and so you can craft different colored weapons. So like we had like all those packs of cards. Like I go in and I have like 45 chests sitting there, and 10 of like the other chest, and like all the cards almost already. So I'm like, what do I do with this? Well, now you get like crafting points as well as cards that you can spend on either crafting cards or crafting different colored weapons that now you can use on the different champions. And now they have a new champion, which I swear, what's the name of, the Sylvanas?
Yep.
Is the tree named Grover that he rides around on?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That's the new character in Paladins. It's Grover.
What?
And it's this
So that's the
axe-wielding
crossover.
tree.
Yeah, for the irony
kinda
fans,
cool.
he's wielding an axe.
So anyway, Paladins
That's pretty
update
awesome.
done. Go play it. Try on 14. It was a lot of fun, and I got in a match pretty fast. At the end of the last beta, it took me like 15 minutes to get in a match, so I was getting worried. This one was like a couple minutes, and I was in. So get over there. How about you, Raging? What you been up to?
Not enough. Basically, I had a very busy week. I spent the long weekend in slow internet hell. And then I was looking at my backlog of season 2 videos, and I wanted to get all the good ones up and uploaded before I do any season 3 videos on YouTube. So what free time I had basically got consumed by that. So I've only played 4 or 5 matches. I've been bad. But I did just before the show, I had a great Guan Yu assault. And it was really funny because the way it worked out was I got Thor on the initial roll, and everyone knows my love of assassins. I'm terrible with Thor. So I was looking to get rid of him. I see somebody else has Guan Yu. And I'm like, okay, usually people will instantly give up the healer. Nobody wants to be the healer in assault but me, apparently. And so I requested it, and the guy just instantly took it back, almost like he was maybe trying to trade with me in the first place. And yeah, it turns out we swapped each other to get our diamonds, because I got my diamond Guan Yu and he got his diamond Thor. It was a really good match. We were up against a Ra as the other team healer, and I pretty much doubled his healing. So for Guan Yu to double Ra's healing is quite the feat. And I'm still learning the items, how to build Guan Yu in Assault with the new ones. Like it's, is Gem of Gaia still worth it when it doesn't give any protections anymore? I learned, I think yes. Can't build Runeforged anymore. It doesn't have the same effect that it used to, which made it a huge staple for me with Guan Yu. But I'm still learning it. But nevertheless, it was a really good match. And yeah,
sounds like you weren't horsing around.
Yeah,
Nay, I wasn't.
yeah. And the other thing, I guess, probably evident from what I just said, but I did not get any 3v3 ranked in, so I'm still sitting at bronze 1, 40 tribute points. I don't know at what point they start decaying. I know if you sit idle too long, you start actually losing tribute points, so I got to get on that. And the other thing I've been doing is I'm actually trying to play Ares a lot more frequently than I would have, and it's, again, just like I was saying on Guan Yu, I got to get used to the item changes. And one thing that's really coming up is I'm really starting to question cooldown and its value on Ares, and instead I'm really focusing more on damage and defense. I'm not buying Breastplate of Valor anymore, which used to be, I mean, every Ares player buys Breastplate of Valor. I don't anymore. I'm going for Midgardian Mail and Mystical Mail and getting my physical protection that way, so I get some health, because right now the health seems to be doing more for me than the cooldown. So
did you get the 2 latest Ares achievements that were introduced in this patch?
I don't think so. The one is going to be almost impossible to get, because you have to get a 5-person pull, not a 5-person hook, a 5-person pull, which means nobody beads, nobody ults to get out.
You have to finish the
I think you
pull.
can do it. I think you
You
can
have
do
to
it.
catch them. I've never done it.
Okay.
I have
I was gonna
got.
say that's super easy, but no, not if you have to complete it. Oh yeah, that's
You know what? Even a 5-person hook is incredibly hard to do, actually.
Yeah.
People know to spread out, and now that Blink is nerfed as bad as beads, I'm not buying Blink anymore either. So I have no confidence I'm ever going to get that achievement. Actually, that one's going to be extremely difficult. It would be doable when you're noobs and people don't know to be afraid of Ares, but even in an assault, it's going to be really hard to catch people that tight. So,
do you remember what the name of the achievement? It was something like 2 chains? Nah, 5 chains or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I don't know the name of it at all.
The other one
like
I should get eventually, because you just have to kill 3 gods with the flame shield, and that will happen. I may have that one already. Actually, I don't pay attention to that too much. Actually,
Yeah. Seems like that would naturally happen.
yeah, that one's just gonna happen. I mean, if you're doing well as Ares, you're gonna kill people with your flame shield, because that's how you finish people off. You hook them with the chain, that does the bulk of the damage, and then your flame shield melts them down. So
right. Also, when you were talking a second ago in Assault, you guys were trading for your diamonds. It's weird because my priorities lie in such that I get rid of my diamond as fast as I can. If I get chosen my diamond, I'm like, no, I'm here to win, to learn, to get more experience, and to get worshipers. I want to learn another god. So that's my first priority. I know that other people. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Other people's priority might be to win with your best god, but not for me. Only in ranked. Only in ranked do I want to use all of the knowledge that I have in my brain to kill you.
So if you play with Eric, just remember he's not playing his best.
Yeah, when I get my diamond, I'm like, hey, who wants to switch? I don't even care who. Just I don't want this god.
See, I figure I have enough diamonds. I've got 5. And I'll probably get a few more just organically, because there's still some gods I like to play that I haven't diamond yet, like Hell and Xingqian.
Yeah.
But I've given up. I'm not grinding anymore. So if someone's willing to give me their diamond, I will absolutely take it. And yeah, I'm playing Ares, I'm playing Odin, I'm playing Guan Yu, I'm playing Kukulkan in regular matches.
It's funny because when I see other people play their diamonds, I get really happy and giddy because I'm like,
on your team or the opposite team?
On my team.
Okay.
Because I know that they have the most experience with that god, and it makes me really happy. And I'm like, yes, they know what they're doing. But me, I'm like, I want to play somebody I'm working on. I don't want to play diamonds.
Right. Or you think they know what they're doing, right?
Right.
Like,
but
think
it's been
about
like
the
2
one
years.
diamond that you haven't played in like so long. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like, what would happen if you went back
Cupid
there
or something?
You
I haven't
think
played him in a year or something. I don't know. Like, it would be like, oh god, I have to relearn him.
That's one of the reasons why I hide my stats, is I don't want people, if I end up with raw, I don't want people thinking I'm some kind of raw expert.
Right.
Because I'm not.
Yeah.
I may be diamond with him, but I think actually my win rate is below 50 with him. So
Would that be a rock spurt?
yeah.
Sorry, let's just move on from there.
You say rock?
Let's just move on from there.
Spurt?
Yeah.
Wow.
I said let's just
That's
move
bad.
on.
So we got some miscellaneous stuff here. What's been going on this week? Double Worshiper XP Favor weekend coming up this weekend. So everybody get online and start playing.
No free
yeah.
gems, though. Not this weekend.
No free gems, but
yeah, if you're like Eric and you got to get more diamonds,
yes,
get your double worshippers on.
This is the time to do it. Also, there's some big drama this week. I caught a little bit of this. So they on Wednesday they announced that old teams can't make. Wait. I can't read this. Basically, they have a rule, or this is what they said, that was there that they never really told anyone because it would mess up how kind of teams did stuff. So basically, how teams would basically get. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, but basically, a requirement to get into the SPL for the season was to have 3 people on your roster.
Yeah, to be automatically keeping your place in the SPL, you had to have been in the SPL at the end of season 2 and have 3 of the original 6 players. So it included your spare.
Right.
But there were very few teams that actually met that. Paradigm, Envy, Cloud9 eventually did, which we'll talk about in a sec. But some other ones didn't, like Eager lost their spot.
Flex.
Because of that. Well, Team Flex wasn't really a team before, but yeah, they couldn't get in either originally.
Right.
So what has happened though is not enough teams really were able to do this. So they're saying they've had this rule in the background all along, but it was just revealed yesterday that okay, now we're going to layer it to as long as it's two of your active players. And where the big drama comes out of this is that now Lassus on Team Flex gets to steal Eager's spot that Zapman could have had. Because Lassus was the team captain, even though Zapman's the owner of Eager. Lassus was the team captain, and he's got Dare to Care with him on Team Flex. So because Zapman doesn't have anyone from the original roster other than himself, he has to give up the seat, and Lassus gets to take it for Team Flex. And Zapman tweeted out, like, had I known this, I would have asked Polar Bear Mike to stay, and then he would have automatically got his seat. Now, whether that's really fair, I don't know. I think if a team's good enough to earn a spot through the relegations tournaments, this shouldn't be an issue anyways.
Right.
But yeah, there was drama. But then the other piece of that, and I hinted at it, was that the sex tank is back, as they call it. There was all the drama about Andenster and basically supposedly forcing Jeff Hindla and MLC Stealth out. And now what has happened in the meantime is Baskin decided to leave Cloud9, so he's gone off to another team. And so they brought Jeff Hindla back, which is fine. Initially, people were like, well, what about MLC Stealth? Well, MLC Stealth is going to be fine because Allied decided to retire out of Envy. So MLC Stealth is going to go mid for Envy. So he's gone from one top team to the other, basically. And he's back with Omega. So that's going well for them as well.
Shifting around. The sex tank, kind of to me, it sounds like some sort of like top secret military weapon or something,
Right. Right.
Well, that was how Barracuda hinted what was happening. Was he put out a tweet that said, "What do you get when you load up an armored vehicle with porn?"
Oh, or that, yeah.
Yeah, people jumped on it.
The old sex tank.
Sex tank.
Okay, we can see that. So, and I know I saw F. Dot streaming last night, I believe, trying to like kind of calm people down because I mean there are some people that get like really upset and from what he was saying was this rule's been there and it's kind of for once they got past those teams that had the three that it was kind of a backup method, whether it is or not. You know what? Like the one thing that even some of the teams are saying is those teams that have the twos are probably going to get into the relegations, would have gotten through the relegations with no problem anyway.
Yep.
So it's not a huge deal. Whatever. We're going to have some good matches anyway. So everybody just don't even worry about it. Go play Smite, have fun.
Well, and I can see their point because the whole point of hiding it, at least this was their argument, but it makes sense to me, is that they wanted the rosters to stay as tight as they could. They wanted to give the team some flexibility, but yeah, they didn't want the majority of the teams coming back with only two players.
Right.
So it's a fair argument. I don't think it's a horrible thing, and yeah, I totally agree as well that these teams should be able to get through relegations anyways. So this shouldn't be a big deal. People just seem to take way too much drama out of all this SPL stuff, and
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't be putting it in the show notes. Maybe we shouldn't be reporting on it. But
I think that's fine. I think really maybe it would kind of behoove Smite to come up with some other method for all this because I'm what they're trying to do is basically if you get teams that stick together and become like famous, well, people start rooting for those teams and it becomes more than the team, and it becomes this thing where teams can then start selling merch because now they've built up fans over years. But when these teams switch every single year between players and teams, people can't really root for one team anymore. They're like rooting for single players. So maybe it's like focus on the players over the teams somehow. I don't know. But building that kind of reputation. I mean, that's what you could see it. Like some of the teams were trying to do it during the matches last year. Trying to come up with a personality and kind of act through that personality to build fandom, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting a lot of exposure through all this weird drama. I mean, look at Kanye West right now with his new album, right? He's getting a lot of,
Don't mess with Tay Tay.
you know, it's like easy. But, you know, I mean, it's just press, you know, good or bad. It's press, it's exposure. You know, you get attention.
At least it's nice to see people care. You know, people are getting wrapped up in SPL. I mean, part of the reason why people are getting upset is because their favorite player or their favorite team, something isn't going right for them. I mean, the biggest one was probably the Incon going off of Envy. I mean, people just flipped right out. But that's because Incon's a very popular player. Envy was a very popular team, and a lot of people were, you know, they were invested in that, and they just saw their favorite player leave their favorite team. And what are you going to do now?
Yeah. And really, it's going to take more people watching and playing the games to put in enough money that these teams can afford to do it, like as a team year long, and then it makes it sense for them to keep doing that together and become a better team together, so they win and make more money throughout the year. I still think they need to do the college thing and really start hitting colleges. And really they could focus on a few colleges in the South and be like, look, we'll trade you some intern positions for basically working these groups up together, and then get these like college rivalries fighting each other in Smite. Then all of a sudden it just more colleges catch on, and all of a sudden the whole, you know, United States is just everybody playing it, and you're getting like the perfect age for it, and it's so cheap. Anyway.
So how do we
do it?
How do we get the North Koreans in on Smite? Is there a way we could do that?
You'd have, there's, according to the North Korean doctrine, there's only one god, and it's Kim Il Sung. So
we need to add him to the
his own
game.
pantheon.
He needs to be added to the game.
The North Korean pantheon.
Sweet, I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Wow, I think someone's been drinking. So also, speaking of drinking, some nice French, or not French, some European wine. High Res is opening up a office over there, and so yeah.
Wow,
And
Bristol.
They hire a VP.
Yep, and she's not a rookie. I mean, she was the former VP of digital publishing at Warner Brothers.
There you go.
Wow,
He's got some credentials, and they announced it basically that they want to do that to really help support the European community the way that the North American community gets the support from High Res being centered in Atlanta. So to try and bring Europe a little more attention from home office, I guess.
So, are they going to be working on Smite there, or is it a different game studio?
I think it's more the marketing and community management. I think is really what I picked up from. I mean, they didn't say a whole lot about it, but I'm guessing that's really what it's about. I think the development will stay in Atlanta.
Yeah, my guess is they call it a field office, and it'll be, you know, a few people working on marketing to get the word out about the game, but also probably communication with the players over there, and running some tournaments and things like that.
Yeah,
is my guess.
Right.
Getting all that come together.
Right.
So yeah, great stuff happening. Anyway, this
Patch of the Pantheons.
Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Not much here.
No, we kind of talked about everything last week.
Remember that time we got a new patch in Smite?
Yeah, it's really just, you don't have to be on PTS to play Ragin now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's crazy. I've only played one match with him. I am not good with gods like this. These really high damage burst mages. So it's not really my thing. It's going to be a bit of a grind to master him.
Oh, yeah. You don't like Dionysus, huh?
No, I don't like Giannis. I don't like Apwash. Those kind of gods just aren't really my thing. He does, like all the new gods, he seems really overpowered. When I see someone who's good with him, I mean, that ultimate just demolishes the entire team.
Well, I think he has no CC, am I right?
No, he doesn't. Which
I haven't noticed any.
No, I never thought about that.
But to me, and a bursty mage with CC like Janice is a little crazy, and I like crazy, but he doesn't have CC, and I love gods with CC. That is that is the first thing I
Yeah.
love about a
Yeah.
god is CC.
But I also love them. Oh, good. I've been looking for this. I love them not
He's
putting in
finding
gods
things
with
everywhere.
CC.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
there's already so much CC in the game. Like,
there
Yes.
is. There
mm,
is.
I'm good. Put in a god people are going to want to play, but it won't CC me. He
And
won't
instead-
put me on his damn emails.
Yeah, or a tiny bit of CC. Like Soul is a pretty good bursty mage.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's
a
got
very-
that BCC, a little blind.
She's very like auto attacky kind of a god, but like
Oh,
she
she's
has a
definitely
tiny
auto,
bit of
yeah.
CC, you know, and that's only in a very specific case can you actually stun somebody with Soul.
And it's so she can get away. It's more of an escape.
Right.
Where the other ones, like the CC, is so you can stop them and go kill them.
Yeah, like Anubis. That's
Yeah.
kind of like your main objective is if you can wrap them, you can do all kinds of things to them. But first
See-
you need to wrap them.
But see, that's the whole problem right there. Is that was, you know, go back to when we first started playing and there were only like 35 gods. That was Anubis's thing. That
Yeah.
was Anubis's unique ability.
Right.
You know, it was as unique as Ares' pull. That, you know, if he was the one god that was the original glass cannon, if he hits you with that wrap, you are dead.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right. Like, so many of the mages that they added since are the same thing. They either stun you or slow you, and then just burst you down to death.
And then send you a
And-
bunch of damn emails.
It is very nice, you know. And I hadn't even noticed that, actually. But you are absolutely right that there is no CC in his kit, and instead they've given him the really good mobility between the teleport and the way his ultimate. I mean, it's a very long CC immune ultimate
Right.
that he gets to move while doing.
So what exactly is his ultimate? Because this is what I see as ultimate. Oh God, there's a bunch of shit coming out of his belly at me.
That's
gonna blow me
basically
up.
it.
Well,
Okay.
it's kind of complicated actually. There's 3 different modes. If you pull up his pull it up on a website right now.
Oh
or
God,
something if
that's
you
a
can.
lot of work.
Because I mean, obviously this god is brand new. I've played him a handful of times, but there's 3 different effects that can occur with his ultimate.
And there might be a
um,
tiny bit of CC buried in there. I think one of them does a slow or something,
well,
doesn't
see,
it?
that's what I was wondering if there was a slow or a mez or something. I don't think there's a stun, but there could be something in there. And this will, totally sound stupid. A couple episodes in the future when we've all made him diamond, and we're like, we love Raging so much. Remember that time we had no clue what his ult did? So, but hey, he's brand new, and
I'm spelling his name wrong, so we're not getting to anything. There we go. Patch notes. Let me be in
here we
patch
go.
notes.
So
Oh, it's raging. I was putting gauging.
gauging,
I don't know. I don't know why.
gauging for the wrong raging.
Raging.
You know,
Oh yeah, okay. So it does. The second beat does a half-second taunt, and the third one does a half-second fear. So
there
a
you go.
tiny bit of CC,
Okay,
but not
so-
that. I mean, if you survive the ultimate, those CC effects aren't really a problem.
and it only applies if you're hit second and 3 times, or does it apply to everyone who you hit the second and third wave? You know what I mean?
It doesn't say anything about having to hit them in succession. So
Okay, so it just means the second time you do it, that effect occurs.
yeah.
Okay. And it's a very slight CC, so we're wrong. He has a little bit of CC, but I wouldn't really count that. Like if somebody was to play, like, our teams are like, okay, we need a mage with CC. Okay, go Brent. And Brent's like, okay, how about Soul? We're like, no, that's not a mage with, So Raging, he's not a CC mage. I wouldn't say him.
So here it says Raging flies above the battlefield, beating his. So does he fly up in the air?
Oh, with
Yeah.
his ult? Yeah,
With his
yeah, he
ult.
floats up.
And
yeah.
4 times to summon peals of thunder with each hit. He has a choice of 3 beats. Now it says he has the choice. Is this like a Chronos choice where something's going, and if you do it at
Well, no, see, that's
I
why
I
I
don't know
didn't
if
understand.
that's supposed to work. Yeah, it's not a
I didn't
choice.
understand that. No, there's no choice. It's just like you hit it 3 times, just like Chiron. You just hit it. You
Oh,
just go bam,
but
bam,
you
bam.
can do it. I mean, you time it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
time it
you
whenever
you
want.
are the one controlling when you actually shoot, and if you don't get all 4 shots off before the ult runs out, then you don't get it. And one thing to be warned of, if you're like me and don't like quick casting, and you don't put quick cast on your ability, his ultimate is automatically on quick cast. You hit your button,
Oh, that's
like
right.
which you would normally, like, say if you were Poseidon, just to get the targeter for the Kraken, and then you click to make it go. In Raging, you don't. You hit the button and you are in your ultimate, and then clicking just does your attacking while you're in your ultimate.
Same with Horse Boy. Chiron does the same thing. It's just like, bam, you're in that mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing I learned, because I haven't played Chiron much until yesterday, I played him a couple times and I liked him.
Really?
But his ult, like, I don't know why I just thought that when you ulted that, like, you were immune to damage. You're not immune to damage. You
No,
can even
no.
die.
Yeah,
while
definitely.
You're so I'm just there like, oh, and I'm like, why did it die? It's all
he
immune.
turns into like a
The ghost
spectral,
thing.
like a
Yeah.
ghost, yeah. And you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
baby,
And
I
then
can
I-
stand in the middle of whatever I want to.
And then I died, which I should have known because, part of it says if you die during the thing, you stay alive and can shoot stuff. But I
Yeah.
kind of thought it was like maybe if there was, some kind of DOT or something on you or something. And so if
okay.
you died while your ult was going off, that you stayed alive. I'm stupid, apparently.
You assumed a lot of weird things.
Yeah, yeah. I'm centarded.
Hey,
I don't know if that's
oh.
that's not politically correct. I just pulled a Trump on the show. I apologize.
Well, you must.
But,
you must
We're
not
gonna
be
we're gonna get a lot of angry letters from the horse lobby.
That's right. Sorry.
Okay.
Nay. Don't
Nay.
listen to on Smite. Nay.
Trump's gonna build a wall around your.
We're just
Better.
horsing around here. It's okay. But we should probably hoof on here.
Hoof on, my brothers.
And I do want to say that that was Patch Pantheons. There you go.
Yay! Thanks for
I
saying
have a
that.
message for you. Gotta go fast. Close. Yeah. We got mail. Let's take a look at Mercury's website. Let's go.
Did the smell
Let's
of
go.
finger.
Let's go. All right.
So if you want to leave us mail, thank you, Sim, for getting me straight this week. We actually fixed the mail, so it actually comes to us now at mercury@onsmitepodcast.com.
Previously, it was all being forwarded to Donald Trump.
No. Apollo was getting it.
Oh,
And that
Apollo.
bastard just kept it. He was just flying off with it, reading it, and going, whatever.
Whatever. Smell my finger.
But Mercury will deliver it to us now.
Yep.
And we got one this week from Sim. Once again, thank you, Sim.
Thanks.
Says, hey, Brent, Ragin, and Eric. I've had a Smite account for about 1.5 to 2 years, but never seriously got into playing it until recently. I started seriously playing again about 2 weeks ago and went from level 21 to 25 and went from 5 God Masteries to 17. By basically power leveling gods, I had about halfway mastered. My goal is to get all 70-something gods mastered eventually, but my question is this. Should I focus on getting Mastery 1 on all gods so I can understand the game a little better, or should I try and go for a diamond on a god I really like?
Ooh,
Thanks for any suggestions, Sim.
that's actually a great question.
I went when I was doing it, getting my masteries. I went with method 1 you said, which was I got mastery 1 on all gods before I got any god to level 10. The weird thing for me on it was that I found Ares very early in that process.
And fell in love.
And realized, yeah, and I kept wanting to see, maybe I would find a god that worked better for me than Ares does. I never did. So that was a little bit odd. I do think you've taken the important step, which is to get yourself up to like around mastery 20. From talking to you in chat before the show, I think it sounds like you've got a fairly well-rounded pool in that 17, that you're not just, it's not all 17 mages. It's he's got some guardians, he's got some warriors in there. So you're probably at the point now where you can kind of understand what type of god you like to play. Do you like to be the hide in the back and kill everything from afar? Do you like to be the in-close assassin? Do you like being the tank? You'll hopefully have a good idea on that. So I would suggest really focus on, what role you're really enjoying right now, and master some more gods in that. Um, Beyond that, my advice would be to kind of balance it. Find the god that you really like, play that god fairly often, but also, I mean, kind of do both at once, I think, is what you really need to do. You don't want to fall out of practice with the god you found that you really, really, really like. But at the same time, there's no better way to learn how to shut down enemy gods than to play that god and get shut down. Because that's how I learned a lot of tricks for taking out gods on the other teams. Is the items that are what moves to do, what items to build to completely screw that god over.
Know
And
thy
you will learn
enemy.
it when it happens to you.
That was some good advice from Tidy Timey too. Know your enemy.
Know thy enemy.
I would also add on to all of this. Go play Conquest. Like, I don't know if you are or not, but I made the mistake of not for the longest time, and now I don't want to go in and play because,
Yep.
like, I don't know the meta well enough, and I feel like I didn't learn it from the beginning. So no matter what, whenever I start, I'm going to be behind the 8 ball and pissing some people off. So unless I can find some friends
Yep.
to jump in with, I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
But I really want to play Conquest because I think it's a good game mode, and it's what we see every year for all the pro stuff. So I feel like, I don't know, I need to play it more. So I don't know. I'm thinking about like starting another account that I just play Conquest with.
Really? We can start smurfing? I'm
Well,
down.
but it won't be as smurfy as if I was going into anything else, right?
Right.
Like I'd be on par maybe, learning with all the other people who don't know how to play it. Like that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I almost wish they had matchmaking with Conquest, where they actually looked at like how many matches you played and took that in consideration,
Yeah.
even if
that's
you've been playing for
interesting.
years.
Mode level elo
Yeah.
in casual. I think they have it in ranked. That they keep in ranked they call it MMR, but I think in ranked it's separate. But yeah, in casual that would be very nice, and I'm very sure that they just use a pooled common elo for that because we get whenever we try and go into Conquest or Siege is another one that I'm very inexperienced at. It seems like the other team always knows what they're doing way more than I do. And yet on the flip side, put me in assault, put me in arena, you guys know I can hold my own. So yeah, I definitely think that they need to balance that. I agree completely.
And I may just being silly because I mean my thing is if it's not ranked, if it's not league, then like I still think people should take the game seriously, but they shouldn't take it seriously. Like play like you want to win, and
Which
you're
Conquest is.
doing things right. But
Yeah.
don't play like if someone screws up, it's the end of your world.
Right.
Like, because
Yeah.
it's not. It's not the end of anybody's world. Everybody's learning. And honestly, I think if you play with someone who sucks, it actually makes you a better player. Because now you're learning how to deal when someone's not having an on game. Like, if you always play with people who are on, then you're going to fall behind.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So, take these moments where, like, someone's sucking. You know what? Give them some advice in the correct way. Right? like why the F did you buy this is not the correct way.
No kidding.
Just saying.
God, I hate
There is a nice way to say, hey, if you get this item, it will help you more to do this.
Yeah.
And I've tried it before, and this is what I get. I'll get whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, okay, that's not the right way to take what I'm saying to you. If we could, they got our Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's just what it, and beyond all that, enjoy what you play. Like, don't just play gods because you feel like you need to.
Yeah. I guess since I'm last to answer the question, mine's going to be more brief. Like Ragin said, know your enemy so that you know exactly what to counter and what they're capable of. And I think also know your other gods on your team, know what synergizes well, because you need to know what works with other gods and what doesn't work with other gods, because you can get in other people's way. You can screw up people's combos. So you kind of need to know what to do, but you need to know what they can do. And sure, you can get that with one or two times of playing a god, but I would say force yourself to master everybody. Everybody, master them in one. Even if you don't want to, you might find that by doing so, you just found your new love. Like Rajan found his love when he met Ares in a dark alleyway.
I thought you
one
say
night.
Chiron.
You know what? That's not all that far off, because where I actually first got interested in playing Ares was getting absolutely demolished by an excellent Ares player in a domination match back in the day, which says how long ago this was that it was in a domination match. But this Ares just absolutely destroyed everyone, and I saw a demonstration on how much damage Ares actually does.
Yeah.
Well, and to add on to that, because I'm just like basically a calculator tonight. I'm just adding on to everything. And now I forgot what I was going to add up. So the calculator just ran out of batteries and died.
Oops.
No, I was going to say, it's like what you're saying is how gods complement each other or don't. Like, just as an example, like if you're on a team and have a Hercules and an Isis, as Hercules, maybe try to wait for like Isis's balls to land before you push or flip. Because it's things like that you got to think about, like, okay, if I'm pushing, if I see her shoot a ball out and I'm pushing at the same time, I probably just screwed her ball.
Right.
Yep.
You know, or pushed him out of her ult. Like, you've got to think about, like, as you're playing these characters, don't just willy-nilly do your abilities. Like, think
That's a
about,
good
like,
example.
if I'm pushing people, am I pushing them in the right place? Or am I possibly messing up someone else's ability?
Right. And with a Wheelix, if you see somebody choosing a Wheelix, compliment them. Choose a god that pops up in the air. You know what I mean?
That knocks people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're in ranked and you see that on the other team, don't pick a god that jumps around a lot.
Plus, if you've mastered everybody, then you get the cool achievement icon avatar thing that you can use, and you can show off that you have a 70. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
I do that. We did.
But
do
see,
that.
as soon as I got it, I stopped mastering any gods. Like the new ones came out, I like almost refused to play them.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if I'm gonna wait till the 80 comes out and then go, I'll get the 10.
Oh
And
yeah.
you're
Whereas
gonna
I
be
should
grouchy
master all
again.
the rest.
Well,
yeah.
see, I do that. Like when a new god comes
salty.
out, I stop what I'm doing, and I go and master that god. I'm like,
Yep.
but I'm only like one worshiper away with Hercules, to diamond. I stop what I'm doing, and I'm actually serious about that. I stop what I'm doing, and I master that new god to 1.
I've got some serious problems.
We do.
Serious
love it.
problems.
We love it too.
Okay, speaking of things we love, people we love, we've got a call in here. Here we go.
Well, hello there on Smite Stairs. This is JBJ
Blaze!
and I decided to skip out on Deadpool tonight, Raging. But anyway, I was wondering for Excavation Station or whatever it's called here, what do you guys think of having not really, well, maybe sort of a single player, but some sort of story?
Okay, see, this isn't a Mercury's mail sack. This is a Vulcan's workshop. So we're going to pause that.
Wait, what just happened?
We're going to come back to this because
Bren paused it.
it's in the wrong segment. It
Oh.
needs to be
It's
in
not
this
the wrong
segment.
It's a segue to the next segment.
Vulcan's Workshop.
Ding.
Ding.
So I'm working on the workshop. I think it's like Satan working in the workshop
I
or
know.
something.
It's not very evil.
I'm going to kill you.
I think
so
Needs to exercise the area, but yeah.
yeah. So let's finish up with this. Here we go.
Component to Smite with the gods. Thanks for the great show, and bye-bye!
Does anybody have any clue what the question was now?
No, because you paused it at the exact time.
Play it again because I want to hear him say JBJ Blaze again. That's my
Okay,
favorite
let me
part.
lower
Yeah,
it real quick so I can.
So you pump it up.
Yeah. so
Yeah,
can
I
pump it
forgot
up.
to.
There on Smite Stairs, this is JBJ,
Blaze!
and I decided to skip out on Deadpool tonight, Raging. But anyway, I was wondering for excavation station or whatever it's called here,
Vulcan's Workshop.
what do you guys think of having not really, well, maybe sort of a single player, but some sort of story component to Smite with the gods? Thanks for the great show, and bye-bye!
Okay, I get the question now.
Well, I mean, okay. So two things. All these gods have a story component in their own religions and things. I mean, that's where they come from.
True.
And now there's a comic. There's like 3 episodes of a Smite comic, so that's a story. So you kind of have stories if you want. One is actual religious story, and then one is actual fictitious Smite story. And then I want them to make an MMO with all the characters or something like that. I mean, that's just so they hire me to do it. But yeah, no, I think there would be some cool story thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. I think logistically to actually have like a single player mode for each god would be a nightmare.
Like a single player game.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
God, yeah.
I think what he's asking about is like doing like having a single player story quest mode for a god. I don't see that really working. Now on the flip side, if you are in the mood for like single player action, I do this all the time, is just load up a practice, or I mean even a co-op isn't really single player, but like if you are not in the mood to deal with other humans as your opponents and you just want to goof around, maybe you're testing something out, maybe you're tired, maybe you're drunk, I don't know, but you just don't feel like playing a serious game, go slaughter bots. It's hilarious. They are so stupid.
Okay, but what if they... Okay, so let's change this around a bit. Like, what if there was this mode? It was, like, not even just single player. It could be a group. You all pick a gods or something. But then you go into, like, a... It's basically like you're going into a dungeon against bots, but you've got to go through and, like, kill some camps, and then the end boss is a god or a titan or gods.
Right.
But at the right times, you got to, like... Maybe you get loot off the creatures as items or something like in there.
I could see that. So it would be kind of themed like if, I just kind of recently started playing Hearthstone, and even though you're just playing cards, if you play an adventure, it's kind of loosely a story that you're playing through. But each time that you play cards or a match, they kind of change the rules up on you. So if you're to apply this to Smite, storyline would lead you into a dungeon where some evil god mastermind has a switch and he's closing the walls in on you. So the walls are coming in, and now you have like 15 seconds, or like I don't know, like a minute and a half to clear all the minions in the room, and then plot twist. Suddenly, Raw jumps down in the middle. Now you have to beat him before the spikes get you. You know what I mean? Like a little like a theme
almost
that happens.
like,
and then when you beat that, you get another cutscene, and then now the next fight happens, but with a twist, right? Now there's no healing, or there's no you know what I mean? Like a mechanic is turned on its head.
Yeah,
like,
and
I
they
would
could
enjoy
even
that.
force you to pick certain gods. Like, okay, if 5 of you are playing, or it could be one player, whatever. There's like a pool of gods that you can pick because they have a mechanic that works with that map, like jumping or something.
Right.
So now you've got to jump through this area or
Right,
something and
exactly.
land on the right things to get through. Don't even have to kill anybody, but it's a jump puzzle.
Right.
And like different puzzles.
See,
and
that's
stuff.
pretty cool.
But that's a whole different game.
It is. It is.
Oh, it definitely
So-
it's just a
is,
mini game, and you win some gems or you win some favor like for doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe worshipers, like you get to the end and your worshipers are sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, you made it!"
If
and then they run, and you
finally
get,
get
4
to meet
favors.
your worshipers. Like,
Yeah.
what up, bros? Thanks for worshiping me, man.
You want some wine?
Thanks for making me diamond, bruh.
Love it. Love the idea.
That's pretty awesome.
Send in more, JBJ.
I like it a lot.
Okay, who wants to go first? This is. Do I need to put the bumper in? No, we all know what it is. Okay.
It's still Vulcan's Workshop.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
so-
I want to hear Eric's. Eric's saying his is weird, and what he's written in the show notes is very weird.
I think
so
this is a specific relic for Wheelix, but go on. Prove me wrong here.
Okay, so I have a new relic idea, loosely called the flip flopper, but a better name might be appreciated. Okay, so say using this relic changes the mechanic of dealing damage or healing your teammates, basically. So when you heal,
Oh,
it deals damage, and when you deal damage, it heals, but only for a small amount of time. So when you activate this item for 15 seconds, all of your damage dealing abilities will now damage your allies, but not actually damage them. Boop, flip it, it heals them. So now all of a sudden I can throw down hands as Anubis and heal my crew. Right?
Okay.
So if I'm raw and
More
I
so
start,
than like meditation or salvation.
right, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it'd be how much damage you do.
Yeah, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I could actually ult somebody and probably bring them all the way to 100% if I wanted to. If you could ult a whole crew of people, say as Ragin, the new god, and you start ulting, you activate this relic and you ult all 5 of your or the other 4 of your teammates. Boom, boom, boom with 3 hits. Probably it will heal them all to 100%, and then you're done. The relic that only lasts a couple seconds, let's say 3 seconds, I don't know, but it totally reverses it. So it pulls in all kinds of brand new combos that could happen. It turns the whole game on its on end, but it's a very specific thing. So it's not really OP. It's not like every god would always get this, because it's really a burst of heal, but also gives healing gods the ability to burst damage. Is that weird or what?
Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting and cool.
Thanks.
I
On
don't
horror, throws a spear at you and heals you, right?
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah.
I don't think it's needed for the healers to do damage because, I mean, basically all the healing abilities
Dude,
generally do damage anyway.
I guess the
So-
healers can already deal enough damage. So
Yeah.
it's not like they really need more help.
The one thing that would be very tricky about that is how do you deal with protections and how do you deal with the status effects of the items? Like if you're trying to heal your tank and you're using your move to do that, does his armor prevent him from like take some of the healing away? I think it should.
Oh, I see.
But,
I see.
Of course, that's the person you need to heal. And then also like so many of these moves have a status effect that comes on with them. So do you make it so that impacts your team? That they get healed, but they also have to suffer the status effect?
I must admit that I didn't think it through to that degree.
Hey,
Uh,
it's okay.
Imagine
That's
that.
not what
I'm
this
overthinking
segment
it.
is for. This segment is for you throwing out really crazy ideas, and then
Yeah,
everybody else
it's
tells you
interesting.
why you're wrong.
yeah.
Pretty much
Yep.
what we do here. But you made me just think of something that I think would be kind of cool.
Oh.
What if they changed relics completely?
Okay.
Relics are no longer relics; they're pets. So when you get a relic, it's a pet that follows you,
And you can kill it?
but only when it's like available, right? No, you
Okay.
can't kill it, but when you
Oh.
use it, it does its power and dies. So now you can see visibly if someone has their actives, if they're up and ready to use, because they have
Oh,
like
because
pets
you
or
can see it.
followers running around with them.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and it would add like a little bit of element of like coolness, like why's he got a bird? And you can, and the actives would be like you would know what that animal was, right?
Yeah.
If it's got a basilisk, or if it's got a bird flying with it, or so you would
A
know
turtle
what the
salvation.
actives are, and you would know if they
For Sanctuary.
used them or not.
So
Do what?
if Ratatasker had a giant T-Rex on a leash, you'd be like, yeah,
You know it. You know
his
it's
active
coming.
is up. You'd be like, okay, I know
Yeah.
what's up. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm
You-
gonna save these other ones for the next episode.
You know, I have to pee really bad
Well, there's a bathroom right there.
because it's International Wine Day, and I've
But
had
I mean,
about
this
half
is the
this
last.
wine
I mean,
bottle.
we've got 2 people have to say crap, and then we're done. Can you
Uh-oh.
hold off for that long?
barely.
Barely. So
You know, I might
I'll go
need
through this.
I might need a relic. to
Okay,
make that happen.
an option that you can use your clan avatar if you're grouped with your clan mates. Like it's automatic. Like when you load up with your clanmates. If there's at least one other one,
That's
then
interesting.
you all use your clan symbol.
Right. That makes sense.
And then
Yeah.
lastly, just two GUI options. If someone dodges a queue and it needs to immediately, because it gives you the name of who does in your notifications.
Right.
I need a block button right there. I need to be able to block them right there.
right away.
Because I'm sick of having to type people's names out to block them when they everyone I queue dodge blocked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't want to play with you. I don't care if it's an accident. You did it. And the last option is the gems. The daily thing. Don't make me log out and back in to click accept. Just let it work every 24 hours. Let it work. That's it. Raging?
Nice.
I've got 3, which is maybe a mistake. I should maybe save some, but I'm going to do 3. The first one is I would like a request replay button, which is, I mean, once in a while you get the replay will come up as an option when you're looking at your match history. You'll have the little TV icon there that says you can replay this match, but it's
never
usually
on the matches you want.
It's never on the matches you want, and a lot of the time it starts like 5. It only starts like 5 minutes from the end of the match, and I think ranked matches automatically replay, but or at least they used to. But I've noticed that on the 3v3 ones they're not. Anyways, it'd be great to have that as an option, and I know that would take up a lot of memory on high-res side. So limit it. Make it so you can only have one requested and saved at a time, and maybe it only lasts for 48 hours. But I know sometimes, like, you have that great play in the match, and even though I'm recording it on my screen software to get that, just that, be able to do the views, move around, get that slow motion action in there, that would be great. And it would make for great YouTube content. People would be able to make way better videos on YouTube. And that's great marketing for high res. So I think that would be a really good thing to do, is just, I can click that button at the end of the match, save that replay so that I can do what I need to with it.
Yeah.
Now the
agree.
problem they
I'd
have
love
with this, and I hate to, you threw out a great idea. It was a great idea.
He's gonna stomp
But
on it.
we do this. We destroy ideas here. That's what we do.
And dreams and hope, and
because everybody wants replays. A lot of people want replays, but what they've said over and over again on like Reddit and the forums is they just cannot do it for every match. And to get the replay, they have to start recording at the beginning of the match, or so you can't request it after the match. Basically, it's gotta. So that's why you're getting partials, is because either someone's starting to spectate, and so it starts wherever they start to spectate. It starts recording. Is at least from what you're saying and they're saying. But I love this idea of maybe being able to say hey, I want to record this match, and then we would do it every time, and like you said, maybe delete it if you don't want it afterwards. Because the problem isn't the space. The problem is the actual recording is server issues.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I even asked Gabe, hey, because there was a rumor at some point that you could have your account turned on and flagged to always record and do replays.
Oh.
And so I asked him if that was true and if he could get mine. He was like, I don't know if that's true, but I'll see.
It was totally fake. Not
he
true.
hasn't responded to that yet.
Oh.
But no, there needs to be somebody. League of Legends started doing it for every match. Now, they're a little less intensive, I think. I don't know. It seems like it's just, what are they actually recording? They're just recording text, right? Code. It's flying by what everything's doing, and then when they replay it, they actually run
it's
the graphics
vectors.
with it.
It's just recording the keystrokes and the mouse movements.
Yeah.
And then
So
it just
it seems
recreates it.
Yeah, it re-renders it, yeah.
I don't know. There used to be a LOL recorder before LOL actually started doing it in game, and it was like a third party thing somehow reading the stuff.
Oh, really?
And so you could save your replays that way, and then you could even upload them to a website, and then people could pull them down and watch them and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Possible in Smite?
I don't know. Maybe it's something that they could work with, Curse. Since they're already working with Curse on voice, say, hey, would this be something that y'all could do with Curse voice? So if everybody has Curse voice, you could get
have
their
that added
stuff.
benefit? That's kind of cool.
but keep it private so people couldn't like hack it to like do something in game to know
yeah,
what's
during
going
the
on.
game, yeah.
Like, because like if
Yeah.
you could get their movements while you're playing, then you could have something like actually like, oh, we know exactly where they are,
Oh,
or
yeah,
show
I
overlays
could
on
see
the
that.
map where they are and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But
could
they're
get
already working
dirty.
with Curse, so like maybe that'd be something that they could all do together and enhance the product.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I
an
agree with you,
idea.
Ragin. They need to. It would really help them to have a lot more recordings out there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
good idea.
Idea number 2.
Wait, two.
Oh, two.
I have to pee.
He's got 2 more
Okay,
ideas.
gonna
I don't think Brent can tear this one down quite so quick,
I'm gonna miss
quite
the
as
second one.
thoroughly.
I'm not. Eric's tearing it now,
Phil-
not me.
Fill me in on the second one when I come back.
Okay,
No, you're good.
I love that they added the seconds countdown to the Ultimate is Down VGS. So now when you do your VVVD, it says Ultimate is down, and it actually says on the screen for everyone else to see how much time you have left on your Ultimate.
Oh, nice.
Or before your Ultimate's available. What I don't like, though, is that now, and I'm doing it massively as Ares, I like to give people a 10-second heads up. You know, my ult is coming up, so I do Ultimate is down to tell people my ult's up in 10 seconds.
Right.
So they should just add like an Ultimate coming soon that would also have the timer.
How about ultimate status?
Yeah, or something like that.
Right, because that's basically what they're both doing is saying it's either up or down, and so why have multiple
Yeah.
commands to do the same thing? Is
'Cause
that
to
what
me-
you're saying?
Well, sort of, but specifically to me, Ultimate is down is what I would want to say when it's like I just used my ult and it's not going to be around anytime soon.
Yeah.
So just something where it's not quite so counterintuitive for me to say my ultimate's down, but I'm really trying to say, hey, my ultimate's going to be ready in 5 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
No, I like
I don't-
that. I like that. But to add on to it, because I'm a calculator, it's like it would be kind of cool to have a VGS command that was like location sensitive or character sensitive. So instead of having to do, whatever coming back left lane, whatever coming back middle lane, right lane, or whatever. And I know it's just 1, 2, 3, so it's easy to remember. But what if you just had one that was where I am? So it's like whatever you're doing, it's like enemy coming back, and it's your lane, but it knows to say middle, right, or left, right? And then the same thing with anything else.
It kind of has that because you can just do enemies returned or enemy missing.
Right.
It wouldn't add it, but all you have to do is look at the mini map and see where you are.
Who looks at the mini map? That thing's boring. I take it off my screen.
I love the mini map.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I make it really
I've got
big. I actually
have
play
it-
on the mini
Yep.
map. I don't see
Yep.
any other map.
Blow it up as big as you can and put it close to the middle so you pay attention to it. Absolutely.
I actually print it out and tape it to my monitor, so I can't actually see what's going on in the game. But I've got a mini
Really?
map. It's actually a maxi map, is what I
I have
call
one
it.
on my ceiling above my bed, so when I wake up in the middle of the night, I just look up and see the mini map. And I'm
Do you go, enemies missing?
It makes me feel so comfortable.
Sleep
Enemy's
is missing.
Yeah. So I missed,
I am awake.
I came back and I missed Rage's number 2. How can you sum this up in 6 words?
Wait, so you got your number 1 but missed his number 2.
I did.
At least you didn't do your number 2 and miss his number 1.
That's true. And 6 words is all you have. Go.
Ultimate soon VGS. That was one word. For ult countdown.
Oh. Well, you already have that. If you say VGS down, it tells you how long you have to go.
But my whole point was that's very counterintuitive. I would like to save VVVD ultimate is down for when like I just blew my ult and it's not going to be available for
Right on
any.
your
Oh, I
face.
see. Okay.
And I'm saying you just need
makes
one command that's
Which works.
ult status.
Yep.
Let people know what's going on with my ult, no
Right.
matter where it is. It
So-
just ended, you fools.
Ultimate down is a negative connotation, right? It's like,
Yes.
Sorry, guys, my ultimate is down.
Well, it doesn't have to be negative, like I screwed up, but it does mean it's like, sometimes I'll have and again, always falling back on the Ares example, I'll have the Poseidon say, ultimate is ready. And it's like, I just used my ultimate 15 seconds ago, dude.
Right.
So I VVVD. But now I'm doing VVVD as well, just to say, hey, my ultimate's going to be ready in 5 seconds. But I'm saying ultimate is down to do that.
And they're
it's
like,
counterintuitive.
but it's only 5 seconds away, dude. Don't be such a downer. yeah, I totally understand. Yeah. So, in ultimate status, I think is
That works.
more in line.
Well, would do y'all think it would be super wrong or odd to have some kind of VGS that forced a recall? Like, so you ask a question, and this VGS forces all the other clients to respond.
Oh, weird.
So you say like ultimates, and they all go like, and it does it in order or something from top to bottom or something,
Ooh.
but it lets you know like ultimate down, ultimate ready, ultimate down,
so
ultimate
it's
ready.
like a
But-
bot command.
It-
You could
I-
spam
oh,
it
God,
pretty
they would-
easily, unless only you get the
Maybe you
response.
only hear it.
Yeah, only you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that
So
could be very
oh yeah,
spam
you
worthy.
could spam the crap out of people, right?
But I like it only if, I mean, are you gonna spam yourself with that? That's lame.
Right.
If so, hey, good luck with you.
That is a very interesting idea.
That's kind of cool.
I don't know where
actually.
else you could do it, but maybe there's something else.
Yeah.
you know.
To me, I'm actually surprised they added the timer at all because they've been so against, queue timers in third party apps, and then they kind of had to add the queue timers in game.
I mean, you
So
already
I don't know if
see
they'd be
it.
willing to do that, but
You see it
it
on
is
the top
interesting.
left, though. I mean, you can see it. I mean,
not how long they have though.
Right,
I mean,
granted, you
that's
can't
a lot of
really-
information.
right. You have like four dots that fill in. Like you'd have to memorize. Like
So if it gives a timer, why don't they do they put the timer up by the ults, or should they do that? Have a countdown on the actual
I don't
ults
know if
themselves?
they don't want to do that because it's too cluttery and too
It
many.
is too cluttery.
Numbers
But maybe you could have
everywhere.
like when you do tab or something, when you do like shift,
I
or
don't-
when you do some key that like brings it up for a second and then
Oh
puts
yeah,
it down.
if you want to see it, if you want to see the clutter, hold Alt.
Alt
Yeah.
is for clutter.
Um,
Alt the clutter.
I like the bot command thing, like VVVS, and then you get a status like they all report, or I don't know. Actually, honestly, if I was playing, that's too much trouble. I would rather just hold a button and see the number.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, yeah, like just being able to look up there, like you said, and see
I want to see it in a split second.
who has an ult or not.
But
But to know if they're almost ready.
yeah,
It's
I
good
like that.
info.
That's a good one. That was a good one. You got another. You got a third.
My
one?
last one's real quick. It's a website fix on the Smite website. They have when you go looking at the items list, you can filter by all sorts of things: magical protection, physical protection, damage, cooldown. But there's no way of filtering to say just show me the damn tier 3 items because I don't care what the tier 1 and tier 2 items are. So just show me what the final one is. Who picks
You're
their
right.
build by what their tier 1 and 2 items are going to
That
be?
is funny because
Micro
like,
build.
I've gone to the site and I've seen that exactly what you're talking about, like that
It's
huge
irritating.
matrix of buttons, and it's like, and I'm looking over it because I think last week we were talking about the Bulwark of Hope, the fun bug with it that still
Yes.
exists. Listen to the previous episode if you want to exploit it. But I was looking at that and I was like, why is there all these like tier 1 and 2 where like most people don't even, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess subconsciously I know like what it looks like because I see it on other people's builds and stuff, but I don't know what it's called, and I don't
Right.
care what it's called, and I don't really care about what the stats of tier 2 is.
No, you just care about what the finished product's going to be
Yeah,
and what that passive is going to be.
but a filter would be nice. Like it's
Yeah.
it's great that they all exist. I mean, I mean,
Absolutely.
They're-
Sometimes
they're-
you do want to have that information.
yeah.
I mean, some of the tier 2s have a passive. Sometimes you might be comparing, which one you would want to go with. Maybe it's going to impact which one you build first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
playing
let me
Assault.
filter out the noise, please.
Like don't get tier 2 Wingblade because there's no longer cooldown on it. Sadly.
Well, and that's a good point because, like in Assault, late game, sometimes you don't know if you're going to be able to finish an item. So sometimes it's better to look at, okay, what do I get at rank 2 on this item
Mhm.
compared to a different rank 2?
Yeah.
Or like
do I-
Arena when there's only 20 tickets left. Yeah.
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 Or
that's
should
true.
I just get a 450 potion instead?
Right, that's true. Yeah, and the very end of an arena, that last item is always weird. It's like
It's-
you gotta quickly decide what that first tier is, and that's actually kind of interesting because you never think about that until the last second. You're like, I'm never gonna get a third item. I mean, a tier 3 item, but But yeah, that's true. That always happens. It's always a good time.
See, this is why I suck at Smite, because like I go in and I'm like, I'm building all movement this match.
It's like predetermined.
I'm playing Bastet and I'm doing speed Bastet, and I don't care what happens. I'm not building against anybody. I'm as fast as I can go. That's what I'm going for.
Does it always work out?
I love speed Bastet. That's one of my favorite builds. It really is. It's so much fun because there's like this mini game where you're like, I'm going to see how far I can jump, run, and then jump back.
Oh,
And like
yeah,
sometimes you're
right.
like flying across the
pounce.
arena, like the whole arena.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that was awesome.
And it's weird. Her long pounce is weird because it's not a parabola, right? Like you throw like a ball to somebody, right? It's like an arc, right? It goes like up and then down, right? Hers, it goes up at a certain point and then just goes straight. It's so weird looking to see a cat just like going like what is happening? You know, it's so weird looking. But yeah, it's a fun little mini game.
I wonder if that's when you like get to the point where your initial jump, and so it's calculating from that point, and so like when you land and then run, it's like this math to get you back to this point to get you that arc back down to the
But
landing.
to connect the two animations, it's just like a straight long line. It's weird.
Oh, but that's what you got to do, kids. Tonight, go play Speed Bastet.
There you go.
You can't go wrong with that one.
In ranked, of course.
I think you could, but okay.
Oh, we need to do that. Like find 3 classes, do league, joust,
Just make
and
them run real
speed.
fast.
And they'll just be like, I haven't seen them all match, but because we're just running around, like just jumping over them, like never hitting them.
Can't
They're
do
like,
any damage. They're just too dang fast.
too damn fast.
Nope.
Speaking of too damn fast, this show tonight, too damn fast. See y'all next week. Have a good one.
See you later. Smell my finger.
No.